All right, this next match for you comes from us from a friend named Jaden. They have 260 hours, so they are fairly new at the game. I don't really expect most people to have most of their fundamentals and ease of play down until like 1k hours in the game. So knowing when to moonwalk, knowing general macro sense, something like that, it's not something I'm going to expect out of you. So you're going to make a lot of just like simple pathing mistakes that I'm not going to be upset about because you're still learning the game. So just keep playing, keep watching streams, keep submitting rash reviews. I'll try to help you through, and yeah, that's fine. You're playing Wraith, which is a very, very solid B tier killer, very good killer to learn the game with. Very simple power, but also fairly effective for how little input they require. You're also on RPD East, which is a killer-sided map. East is the more killer-sided of the two RPDs. You're also a stealth killer on an indoor map, so that's great. Eye-shaped maps usually also favor the killer because you can control that choke point fairly well. So, at least in terms of map, it's not working against you. Also in terms of add-ons and your perks, Wraith add-ons are hard to go wrong with, so it's probably going to be hard for you to go wrong there. You have Ghost, and which suppresses your tear radius, and Red Stain when you're coming out of cloak, which is fine. And you also have uncloaking time, which is great. Like I said, with Wraith add-ons, it's very hard to go wrong. Windstorm's good, Uncloak's good, Recloak's good, Shadow Dance is good, All Seeing is good. Obviously, Silent Bell's good. Like, there's just a lot of really good add-ons that you can run with this character. So these are also fine. Ghost usually pairs really well with Bone Clapper, which is the yellow add-on that makes it takes away your directional audio for your bells, so they don't necessarily know that you're uncloaking next to them or next to somebody else. So that'd be a good pairing to pair up with Ghost if you wanted to switch something out. Your build, despite the fact that you don't have all the perks level up, is pretty good. Surge, you're an M1 killer, so that tracks. A barbecue lethal, very excellent combo, especially for learning spawns and general macro pathing of survivors. Very, very good. The only one that's odd out here is claustrophobia. It's just not a very, very good perk. It's good on niche maps, usually indoor maps like this one, or Larry's, but like generally not a consistently good perk. I'd probably switch this out for something else. I don't know what you have right now. Sloppy's a good pick that you should probably have access to because it's a general perk. Good on Wraith. But I would switch if you're gonna switch something else, it would be the claustrophobia. The rest of your build is honestly great. So yeah, I would keep these, especially if you only have 200-ish hours. Like learning spawns and general macro movement of the survivors. Barbecue and lethal are fantastic for that. Good first thing. What are the dreaded Noed? I don't recommend Noed for people in the match reviews because it's another one of those perks that kind of just like covers for your mistakes, and it's good to like have your mistakes be felt so you can know to improve on them. Whereas Noed's whole deal is just kind of just like a mistake eraser. I don't know why she didn't go to that pallet there. Okay, I would have probably like. Here, like, instead of like cloaking at the window itself, one of the things that Wraith is a very, very simple killer, so there's not a whole lot of like crazy text or cool stuff you can do with him. One of the things you can do is use your built-in windstorm, so your built-in movement speed while cloaked, to kind of block things or position yourself in areas that block off obstacles and things they can use to counteract you. So right here, there's a pallet right behind you, and there's a window up here. If you started uncloaking like right about here, like where these books are on the floor, she has to continue out into the main hall, and she doesn't have the ability to vault and take the pallet because you are essentially in the way. But because you vault up here instead of down there, she gets to just kind of, you know, path back to the pallet. Okay, so this has been a really long chase with this person. Okay, Okay, so what you can do, and it's not necessarily a fantastic like option at this loop in particular, but with the Wraith, you do have a lunge that you have coming out of your cloaked. So a good thing generally with Wraith is to take pallet control. And what you mean by pallet control is that like you stand here where the pallet is. That way the survivor does not have the option to just cant the pallet and throw it on you, and they have to play by your rules. So then you can like cloak and then uncloak, try to use that lunge, try and get the hit. That's a common thing you should be doing as Wraith. Okay, you realize that chase has been all along, so you leave, which is not something that a lot of newer players know to do, so like, good awareness on that. Oh, sprint burst, you got robbed. His path's fairly weak, you should be able to mind game this. Yeah, just force him to one side and swing. Oh, you got robbed. You got out into the pallet. That's not your fault. Yeah, go knock that person off the gen. I don't take the... Yeah, there you go. Perfect. I will say your macro sets is fairly good for somebody that only has 200-something hours. I see a lot of people with like 1,200 hours or more, like, make worse mistakes than you're making in terms of like knowing to leave a chase, knowing to knock people off gens, that sort of thing. Oh. I would go after him because you have Surge as your only slowdown, so you kind of want to surge that gen that they're near. Perfect. I would pick up Hero and not Slug. You don't have a great deal of pressure. You only have one hook. So I would start getting your hooks. Okay, they're not going to be able to get that unless they have background player. But now they can because you've waited too long, but let's say a background player, you weren't going to be able to. You were... Slugging is not a bad play a lot of the time, but right here you are lacking in terms of hook pressure, and now you just let them pick that guy up instead of just getting the hook. Lucky he lets you down him and get the surge on that same gen again. Yeah, you slugged a little too long, and now it's just kind of like impossible to pick him up. Whereas if you just picked him up immediately, you wouldn't be in this situation. At least the whole team's here, so like, there's not really a reason for you to go anywhere. You know nobody's on a gen, so it's like, just hang out here. Lead them out. Like, if the whole team wants to sit here and not do gens, that's fine. That's a them problem. Oh, she fucked up. I know what she was trying to do. She was trying to do the, like, throw the pallet and then heal him on the other side thing, but he went to the other end. They're playing so poorly. They're playing so badly. Now I would start picking. There you go. You played that really well. The only thing I would say is that, like, you slugged a little too long initially when you could have just picked up Steve right away. But, like, knowing to not leave that situation because everybody was there was really good. You know, yeah, I would say multiple people are injured over here. And it would be theoretically an easy down, or an easier down than chasing full health Steve. They do have this really strong pallet here, but you'll have to kick it and get out of the way. Oh, she had a syringe. Gross. That's really cringy. Yeah, chase the injured person. You have good macro sense for somebody at your low hours. You immediately switch to the injured survivor over the healed survivor that just syringed. Yeah, oh, yeah, there you go. Good job to swing through. Good job to swing through. Are you sure you only have 2,000 there? Or 200 hours? You play like somebody closer to like 800. Like the mistakes you're making in your general fundamentals are very minor. Give this guy an ego? They're playing well. Just for food for thought, this is one of the reasons that I think that like a lot of people have been talking lately about how the old matchmaking system is better. But the old matchmaking system, grade 1 or rank 1 as it used to be called, could mean 200 hours or it could mean you were literally odd Starva. And I don't understand how people like think that was good. You played that fine. It's just a fairly good palette. You could have maybe cloaked there. That's something I haven't really seen you do. Is like try to go for a cloak lunge, like an uncloak lunge. And I would probably encourage you to start going for that. You'll be getting more hits. Just 200 hours? You play very, very well. Good to see those straggle. Yeah, they have good macro sense for somebody with only 200 hours. Yeah, go after Jill here. See? Like, everything I say you should be doing, you're just doing, so like... They watch the game a lot. Yeah, you have a lot of really good mid-game pressure. I love when people do that. People want to play against the RMR, yeah. But then when they play on the Survivor, they're like, wow, why am I facing a killer this caliber? Because you wanted it. I hate when that palette spawns there. It's so dumb. Like, why does this map need another god palette? Odds isn't even that good at the game. I feel like the people that say odds aren't good at the game are either people that are just like pick me Andes who think they're so great and will never prove it, or they're comp players who play by different rules. So like, I don't know, comp skill versus like pub skill are kind of like different things. Yeah, you have the right idea. You're just gonna swing it a little bit early. You are now spending a little bit of a long time in this chase. You haven't had any long chases so far. You've been with the Steve for a little bit. So you should be using that same macro sense you had earlier to kind of be like, okay, well, like, there's a lot of gem burrows probably happening now. I should probably be thinking about leaving. Usually I run to the opposite where people don't want to lunge at all because they just assume they'll never hit. You're kind of erring on the other side where you're lunging a little too much. I guess you didn't take that. Remember to take, remember, like, you can hear me actively, but like taking palette control, very important. Yeah, you've been spending a tremendous amount of time. You haven't even injured him yet. Yeah, you've just spent, yeah, all the gens are popping now. You threw this game for yourself. Like, you were doing fantastic. You had immense pressure. And you've given it up for this one chase on Steve. Following charity tournaments too. As somebody who's like played in a ton of charity tournaments, like it is a different environment, like a really different environment. But it's not the same. Okay, so this chase was Steve. 907. Oh my gosh. This is a 2-minute plus chase? Oh my gosh. Yeah, you chase this guy for over 2 minutes. from the moment you find him, you chase him for over 2 whole minutes. You know what gen from start to finish without like items, add-ons, perks is 90 seconds. You chase this guy for 2 minutes. This is where the game you had immaculate pressure. You had really, really good pressure. And you just threw it to chase one guy for 2 whole minutes. Jason Dead by Daylight need to be 30 to 40 seconds. 50 plus, gotta leave. So to chase somebody for literally twice the max time you should be chasing somebody, that's a throw. That's a throw. Just sad to see because you were playing really, really well up until this point. Dropping chase is okay. If a chase is like 50, if you start getting to like 50 seconds or more in a chase, like it's just not worth it anymore to chase that person because you're just letting gens get done in the background. It's better to chase somebody who's either easier to chase or somebody who's in a more vulnerable area than the person you're currently chasing. Just kick some pallets, injure the guy, and leave. Yeah, you literally let 3 gens get done chasing that Steve. You literally had this game in the bag and you threw. It's literally like that is the main reason you lost. Like I'm gonna give you like 1 or 2 more takeaways, but this is the actual reason you lost. Chill, lucky break. For that shadow step. I didn't hear Boom get placed, but I was talking with you guys at the same time. Okay, that's way too far. She'd be out of the range. She get hit? Yeah. That's lucky break then. Wait, 40 seconds? It's true. It's not always viable. Or not always viable, not always realistic. But it's something you should generally aim for. Why? You do know you don't have to uncloak to kick gens, right? You can kick gens while cloaked. Yeah, that's not something you gotta do. So, stay cloaked. This Steve is your kryptonite, and you're gonna chase him again. That was a good bait. He just didn't fall for it because he's one of the better survivors on their team. Oh. This is just swing. This is such a weak pallet. Just swing at him. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's one of the weakest pallets in the game. The fact that you didn't get the hit there is not good. Whoa, you got so lost there. Well, you confused me. You confused me, dude. Gets intimidated easily? Well, that's not what he was doing. Last time he chased that Steve, he chased him for 2 whole minutes. So I get your meaning that he's like, I don't want to, like he's spending a little bit too much time mind gaming because they just assume the survivor will always make the right decision. So you like, you kind of threw this game for yourself. You had really, really good pressure. And you threw it, like, willingly. You let the Steve get in your head. And you're letting him get in your head again. You don't even use that pallet. That's a very common mistake I see a lot of killers make. Is like, okay, well, this guy thinks he's saucing on me, I'm gonna chase him down, and then they waste like 3 million years in one chase. Like, it's always better to just not let it get under your skin and not chase people down. Yeah, I would hook him up here because it's pretty easy to body block on one side of the hallway and just get somebody coming down the other. He could have, he probably should have tunneled there. At this point, you gotta just go for kills. The door wasn't ready yet, so she wouldn't be able to just like speed burst out the door. Yeah, go for a hit here. That way they have to like go heal or force a trade. Hit her, don't. Yeah, if somebody's in your way, just hit them. Because then you're just allowing them to succeed in their body block. Oh, he greets that. That is not good. Exactly, do you know? Usually if somebody's trying to bait you into chase, it's because they're good and they want you to waste time. Remember, that door is open, so... Yeah, force him out. He's not going to be healed up in time. Hit him. Force him out. No, force him out. Whoa, whoa. Okay. You had to force that guy out. The fact that you just leave him the exit gate means he's just gonna mend and go find Michaela and heal up. When I mean force people out, like actually force them out, like get them out the exit gate. You had the right idea there, but you didn't actually force them out. Hey lady, it's good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, because now he's still in the game, which means he can still make plays. You were probably a little frazzled, and that's why you're swinging so much. Yeah, now actually, like you should have forced him out earlier. I would have picked her up. Yeah, if you had picked her up, you could have hooked her. At least you get your 2K here. Okay. I don't think the builds weren't really the problem here. Yeah, the syringe on Michaela was kind of cringe. So she had Shadow Step, no Lucky Break. So I don't know where she put that, but that range was crazy. I know that you retain that effect a little bit outside of leaving it, but like that was, must have put it in a really optimal place. Enjoy your lurk, Spooky. Appreciate you. All right, so in terms of your main takeaways, obviously the main one and the ones that like actually lost you the game, it was the fact that you engaged in a chase with Steve for 2 whole minutes. Obviously matches in Dead by Daylight shouldn't even go past 1 minute, so much less doubling that is just allowing survivors a tremendous amount of time on generators, which obviously costs you the game as killer. So you shouldn't even be chasing people for 1 minute, much less 2. So that was an extremely egregiously long chase, so I would not do that in the future. In terms of your second takeaway, it's fine to slug people, but keep in mind that if you slug people for a really long time and your intention is still to pick them up, you're giving survivors the chance to position for a pallet save or position for the pickup the longer they are on the ground. So you don't want to like over slug. There was a situation where you're kind of like over slugging in the middle where you could have like picked up the down Steve really easily and gotten a hook right away, but like you forwent that, and by the time you came back, like the team was there, so you couldn't really pick them up. And then your third takeaway would be that don't be so afraid of pallets. You were kind of just like, it is kind of interesting too, because like at the beginning of the match, you were kind of like swinging through pallets a lot, which is really nice to see. And then by the end of the match, I guess just because the Steve got in your head, you kind of stopped doing that. And that's a habit that I see a lot of newer players have, is that they're just really scared to get stunned by a pallet. Not the biggest deal in the world, especially since you could potentially get the hit, especially with that really weak pallet that was in the save room office. Could have easily got the hit through that pallet by swinging, but you let him get in your head too much. So don't be afraid to swing through pallets.